Hey,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 6, where Scott has regathered his bearings and is back on Earth. We are back from our very heated state of mind. The How Scott Feels About You column has left. We are now feeling much more neutrally about most of these
we're
people.
making a partial visit to Brady on Crazy Planet, the
Uh,
neighbor
uh,
of Opposite
uh,
Planet.
okay. Yes, yes, yes. I was like, no, Brady's on opposite planet. But yes, no, I'm back. I've had a good trip. It was fun. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Or Sarah calls me back now. No,
Um,
no.
and yeah, a week happened that resulted in Riley's eviction. Um, I simultaneously, I don't have a lot to say about this week of the game, but I do have a lot to say about the state of the game that we're in and why I'm personally not thrilled with it. After this week, I like keep starting once we hit the jury phase, I keep like a ranking of a tab of like where I personally am ranking the season amongst our seasons. And after this week, it sank to even lower to below season 10, which puts it in the bottom 5 currently. Um,
Womp
I
womp.
am starting to see it turn around, so I'm not confident that it will stay there. But yeah, I'm just getting major ick, and I'm not a fan, to be so frank with our viewing audience.
Was that a hot dog pun?
No, but justice for Riley.
Justice for
Um,
I think and speak in hot dog puns.
Um, what even happened this week? I feel so far removed from this week that I already forget. Who the hell was the HOH? Was it Kaden?
Karina.
It was Karina. Oh, that's right. Because I've got things to say
Karina.
about that.
Karina stayed up all night, as did Riley. Lost by a hair. Did you see them too? They were like, Riley's only getting these because she's close. She's like close in distance to Steven. So she's getting the messages first. And I'm like, that's not how that works.
And how about for the rounds that I sent them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like people will come up with any things when they're like any ideas when they're haters. Um, sorry, I'm texting Jason. Um, the yeah, Karina put up Riley and Jamie. Both of
Uh,
them
yeah, Riley and
entered
Jamie.
the
Jamie took a box, and it was the competition advantage.
yes,
He
and
did
she
to
won
win
the
veto.
veto.
Then Karina put up Suba as the replacement nominee. Other boxes that were taken last week, Riley took a box, ended up being a lose your vote. She wasn't eligible, obviously, to vote in this eviction, so it would have carried over to next week. She told everyone as a flip a vote in an attempt to swing some votes, and ultimately she was evicted 7-0. So I think everyone kind of found out that she was lying. So only three. Jason took one in week 5,
Hmm.
and then Riley and Jamie both took one here, and then we got
Hmm.
boxes to open next week too. So
Lovely.
the general store is a hit in my opinion.
It is a hit. Um, lovely.
I would
I'm
even retheme this to bring this back in a future season.
yeah, I've been a fan. I've been a fan. Um, amazing. I'm gonna call just to say goodnight to Jason real fast. But Steven, kick us off on Ashlyn.
Yeah, Ashlyn. I feel like I don't have anything new to say about Ashlyn. I think she's, still kind of just there. I don't know how, like, she's not very a big power player in the game right now, as much as I thought she would be evolving to be. Um, she's funny. I like her. I like writing down her DRs, but there's like nothing major going on there, especially with this week. I mean, this week was pretty straightforward for a lot of people. Even Riley kind of at the last second let it go a little bit. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to decide where I'm at with Ashlyn because I think as the weeks go on and we got this power structure of 4 people, Caden, Danny, Karina, and Juan. And as those people continue to run the game and, make moves, I think that it kind of keeps making the other people a little less relevant and a little, I don't know, less gameplay. So I don't know. I'm interested to hear Scott's thoughts about Ashlyn, but I think I have my score. Uh, I don't know. I like her, but I think she's slowly falling out of it, which is sad because Ashlyn is funny. But yeah,
So I heard you said Floplin was falling out of it, and I agree.
I did
Uh,
not say Floplin, but that was what
did you
you.
not say Floplin? I heard you say Floplin. Steven's coined this name for Ashlyn called Floplin. It's a little
I did
mean. I
not
would.
because I thought you were talking about Kaylin at first.
No, 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 no. That's Slaylin.
Okay,
Slaylin and Floplin. Um,
your thoughts on Ashlyn? I kind of said like she's not exactly where I was hoping she would be a few weeks ago. Like I think I've been giving her good like green scores because I'm like, oh, but she will become relevant, but she's kind of becoming less relevant.
I agree with that. She's becoming less relevant. She's becoming more of a Caden and Danny like puppet. I think she thinks that she's like in this tight trio with them. That's not the reality, unfortunately. Last week I gave her a 6 because it was the position that she was at before, and she actively didn't diminish it by losing Jason, and that move did benefit her. However, moving forward here, she just kind of did what the group wanted this week. I think we're starting to see the game move past her. Like she
Yeah,
hasn't actively in this last week and from what we've seen in this upcoming week, which we won't talk about too much, but like still isn't she's not moving forward with the game. She's just kind of like content with where she's at, and I think it's gonna play the game out from here. Um, and I think the only way it would change is if she loses Danny or Caden, or they turn against each other, or both, or whatever. Um, so it's definitely slipping. There are still a lot of people protecting her, so it's not the worst, but I'm certainly not at a green score. I'm gonna go down to a 5 for
that's
Ashlyn.
where I'm at too. Uh, yeah, it kind of makes me sad, like because I do like Ashlyn. I don't think she's Floplin. Um, and
Maybe I jumped the shark on that one,
I
but
don't know, jump the shark. I just don't know where she kind of comes into play in the future here. But maybe I'm mistaken. It's only week 6. Still got 9 people left in going into next week, so we'll see. All right. Cool. Caden.
okay. So for Caden, he is the one that I'm probably there's a lot of people that I'm really confused on. Honestly, this whole group of four I'm really confused on. That group of four being Caden, Danny, Juan, and Karina. And not confused on in terms of like no, I don't know. I'm just confused because it's like it's just annoying how they're like running it. Because the thing is, like everyone has
But like,
said they
are they?
they yeah, they are.
I
They've
disagree.
been in power every single week. And I think Riley was, at this point in the game, one of the only people that, if they won, would have nominated two people in that four, which is going to be the only way to get rid of anyone in that four unless they turn on each other. Um, like they just had such a stronghold on this game, not even intentionally, but it is just like they tell each other everything. So as soon as like one person plans on putting one of them up, they all know about it and they plan to get it. It's because no one's connected them for at this point in the game. We'll talk about next week, obviously. But um, so with that being said, I like came crashing down to this 4 for Caden because I hated the way that he handled Jason's eviction. Um, however, now it's a balance of certain things. Because if I look at the board, I think that Ashlyn really trusts Caden. Damon, although he's annoyed with Caden, doesn't have anywhere else to turn. I think his number one is Kaylin, but his number two is Caden. Danny's number one is Caden. Jamie, when talking about targeting this larger group, like is probably now after Riley's gone, like one of the only people looking at Caden. Juan and Karina. I think Karina sees Caden as her number one in all honesty. based off of how much she talked to Kaden about this HOH reign. Riley's gone now. Kaylin wants like everyone out from that four except Kaden, and Suba is back to being brainwashed. Like he has a good stronghold on these people. So in terms of his actual stasis in the game, I feel really good about his chances of making it to this finale. In all honesty, but his chances in this finale, I can stop.
I think whenever Damon is in a call, it automatically like rings you.
I've noticed that. Um, so like that being said, I should be raising my score a lot for Caden. However, with that being said, now you've got Jason in this jury and you've got Riley in this jury. And I think
Can
what?
I pause for a second? Okay.
Okay, we're back. There was a little silly, goofy mix-up thingy that we'll talk about next week. For now though, we were talking about Caden, and it's like he's simultaneously he's in a really good spot, but the way he's so like, don't get me wrong, I'll be the first to say that like Riley was a little cuckoo and over some things. But at the end of the day, like when she was walking out, like she was right. And I think Caden is being like really self-righteous and really overconfident, and it's coming off as cocky, and a lot of people are not a fan, including me. Not to clock you, Caden, love you. But I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna pay off in the end for him. Um, Especially on this season where I think a lot of people are playing, not emotionally, but I think like emotional personal connections really are shining through this season more than most. So we'll see. I'm raising my score. I think I have to go back up to a 6. I don't think I can't not. Riley's out of the game. It's really good for him. And I think he does have a stronghold on all these other people. So it's going to be a 6 from me, as much as I don't want to give him that credit right now, in my opinion.
I'm gonna only go up to a 5 for the reason being that we've got two people on the jury who are so against him right now. In addition to the fact that he's playing very messy, he's playing very chaotic. You're right. I wouldn't say that this alliance is. I wouldn't say that this alliance is running the game, but I think I have a different meaning towards it. I would say like like James and Maeve were like running the season. Like there was no opposition. They weren't going to turn on each other like that is kind of my what I was thinking by it.
Well, I mean, like, but even on season 4, like, there was an opposition. Lily, she just wasn't able to rally anything. And on this season, I kind of feel similarly.
Not a
There are
feasible opposition.
oppositions.
But more so in the fact that like they were never going to turn on each other. Whereas this group is so like implosive, it feels like
Yeah, it feels like we're walking a fine line.
that I'm not like they're going to be running the season. So I'm like, yes, they've been in control, but I don't see it lasting much longer. And Caden is walking on very thin ice, in my opinion.
The reason why I'm up at a 6, because I agree with everything you just said. I think once it does explode, I now actually think that Caden's probably one of the people that survives at most.
We'll see. He is not making people very happy as he evicts them. And, we're going to see what happens. All right. Damon. Damon stayed off the block this week. Woo!
Damon stayed off the block this week. Um, yes. Damon, here's the thing. Damon and Kaylin, that's my iconic duo. Like that is love them. I would have loved to see them be the final two. Um, However, he is being strung along. Like he needs to wake up and make a plan that doesn't involve Caden at all. Like he knows that Caden is doing other things. Damon has had, or I guess this is now the following week. This is what sucks about doing rankings so much later. I'm gonna stick with what I have written down on my phone, and I do have myself lowering my score to a 4. So that is what I'm going to do. Um, I just fear that if I look at the board, his positioning is slipping, and I think he's a likely target for that group of 4 here soon. Um, And yeah, I just feel like his position is slipping and he doesn't have the tools to do anything about it right now. He's got Kaylin, but he doesn't have anyone else. He doesn't have Ashlyn. He's not on the same page as Jamie. Um, Riley's gone. Suba's only going to do what Kaden says. Like, that's what's working against him right now. And a lot of these people that are not in this alliance.
Yeah, I was deciding between a four and a five. I think I'm gonna go for the four as well. Um, yeah, it's not looking good for him, but somehow we've been saying that for weeks, and he has continued to scrape by. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, he has been targeted for quite a few weeks now, and it's only a matter of time, I think. But you're not out until you're out. So, but four for Dame right now. All right, Danny.
Okay. There's a lot of good that I have to say about Danny. There's a lot of bad that I have to say about Danny. Ultimately, I think this week was a net positive. The big event for Danny this week was Karina was going to put him up on the block as a pawn. That in and of itself is bad. And shows that his positioning is maybe a little weaker, especially within the group. The good news is it made him realize that, and he has definitely started to immediately, without hesitation or delay, started to try and set himself up from outside that group. He really tried to save Riley, not in a
Yeah.
way that was too much, but in a way to see that if it was possible, see if it was worth it. He quickly determined it was not possible nor worth it, which I ultimately think was the correct take. Riley left. Now he has a really interesting working relationship with Jamie moving forward, which I'm very excited by. Um, and I think that I would like to see Danny make a strike here soon. I think someone in this group is going to have to strike first. And I think a lot of people are looking at Danny as who's on the bottom of the group. Which is crazy because a lot of people weren't before. And then Jason left and made his big stink about Danny specifically. And then he was almost up on the block as a pawn this week. So it's interesting. Last week I went down to a five. Um, Kind of similar to Caden. I was considering staying at a five or going back up to a six. And while I think his positioning is a five, I am going to go back up to a six because I am really impressed by his gameplay in the fact that he did try and stick out to see if he could save Riley. He is working with Jamie, and I think we are going to see a pivot from him. I would really like to see a pivot from him. And this seemingly a pivot is why I'm going to go up to a six. Um, if he falls back on and doesn't pivot, though, it will immediately come crashing back down to a five and maybe a four. Because if he doesn't move, he is playing for fourth place, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was at the six. I'm actually gonna go up to a seven. I think his relationship with Riley this week um was really impactful. Not only did he try to save her, but on the way out, she gave him a lot of information. She basically revealed her whole game to him because she really is rooting for him moving forward. In addition to the fact of like, I think Danny is pretty. I think Danny is starting to gather some people outside of this four, which I think he is going to be using. Hopefully, that's the hope to kind of turn against them slash be defensive when they turn against him. So I'm gonna go for the seven. Honestly, I think Danny's post last week is back in my top contender. I think
I'll be interested to see where we're at after this upcoming week
true.
because I think I may agree with you after this upcoming week, but I don't want to spoil too much here.
Mhm.
Spoil, as if the people that are watching this aren't like explicitly the ones that play the game.
Jamie,
Jamie. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's finally time. I'm seeing the vision now. She was high on my ideal draft pick. Stephen took her second pick overall. And then she came in and where was she? She kind of flopped. I was like, ooh, sad, overrated,
and then
nothing
she
burger.
saw the video message, and
And next week, next week. Um, and then I think honestly, Jason going home really sparked something in her. I don't know what it was, honestly. I think it was the fact that I think Jason's eviction was like the first time that there was like a serious vote campaign going on. No shade to Julian, Julia, and Citrus, except shade. They did not try. Lefteri didn't have time to try. And Cyan tried, however, I think ultimately realized that it wasn't happening. And also didn't really try with Jamie as much. Like there wasn't as much of a push. This is the first time that there was a push. And I think it finally unlocked Jamie to be thinking about the game and realizing that stuff was up and that, Caden's in this power position and Juan is in this power position and all these things. And moving into this week, all of a sudden, she just like understands exactly the game and what needs to be done and what needs to happen. She like went up on the block and all of a sudden was like gifting diagrams. She was like, okay, I'm gonna go into the store, got the comp advantage, came off the block and won the veto. Clutch comp win for her. Um, she seemed to be doing well anyway. I think if she didn't have the comp advantage, she could have still won, or it would have been Karina based off of who was sending in answers. Um, she's all of a sudden sending diagrams, being like, okay, now that I'm safe, I can go to Karina and try and actually play this game. It's a lot more useful to come at someone when you are also in a position of power or safety and not like just pleading for your life. And I was like, okay, yeah, really good take. Correct. I love that. Um, tried to link up, gave Riley some really good advice. Ultimately, I don't think Riley, even if she like took it to a T, could have done anything to save herself. Um, but like that didn't super work out. But like gave Riley some good advice, really good game sense. Has now linked up with Danny, seemingly. I think the two of them could be a very dangerous duo. Like I would love. I know I said Damon and Caitlin I would love to see in the final two.
I
I'm not gonna
really
lie.
want to join this
That for
call.
like the meme. Um, oh, you're right. Um,
Let's give our
but
scores first, and then we can join.
Danny and Jamie are the two that I would really love to see do well in this game. For Jamie's score, last week I was at a 4, Stephen was at a 5. I'm going to be raising my score only up to a 5. At the end of the day, she was on the block this week, and she is still on the outs and a huge target moving forward. However, I think that, again, her gameplay this week was super good. I know I'm a lot more confident in her activity and her game sense and to make stuff happen and to save herself. Um, so I will be at a 5, and I hope that it raises more in the future because I really like what Jamie is doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide between a 5 or a 6. I think I am ultimately going to give her the 6. And usually I'm the one that's like, if you're on the block and you have a high chance of going home, like I probably won't give you a green score. I'll probably give you a red score, but I'm really impressed with her this week. And I think the going and getting the box and getting lucky and then also using the advantage to win the veto and it's just like it was great. And then in addition to like I'm with Riley, I want Riley to stay and I'm helping her, but I can only push so much for Riley to stay and I kind of have to let her go and like yeah, it's just like the game sense and I always knew this was in Jamie, so I'm not surprised, but I'm very happy and I'm grateful to go up to a or happy to go up to a 6 for a 5.5.
This next week is going to be so interesting. We currently have two FaceTimes and they are going to be directly rivaling one another. And we're back. On to Juan. Um, Juan. I mean, listen, unfortunately for Juan, my ranking from this point forward in the season will always be just a little bit personally biased. You can't take out Jason and then not have me be personal biased. It's just not going to happen. But Juan is someone that I think this week has recovered well and did do what he needed to do. Ultimately, what he did, he made this clear to his allies, he made this clear to everyone else, was he made the move last week, and then this week he was like, I'm just a pawn this week, tell me what to do. This is your move. Like, I'm happy to be a part of it and not push for anything. And ultimately, he didn't push for anything crazy last week, which I do think was in a rare moment of good decisions by Juan. Um, Smart. It's what he needed to do. Um, I do think that people clock him as being in a good position. Um, but with that being said, I think he comes off as a big threat, but at the same time, I think a lot of his move got undermined, mainly because I don't know, Juan's gone back and forth a lot on whether or not like he wants to claim the Jason move or not. Um, so I don't know. I honestly don't know how to feel about Juan, and ultimately I've just landed back at a 5 because it feels like he is in a very middling position right now that could swing one way or the other based off of his gameplay, and I just kind of don't know which way it's going to swing right now. Um, I think that of this group of four, it's clear that Kaden and Karina are the two controlling it. Danny and Juan are just numbers. I think Juan thinks he's controlling it more than he thinks he is, which is a dangerous position to be in, versus Danny knows that he's not and trying to do something about it. So that's why I'm going to have Juan at the 5 here.
I think I'm going to the 5 too. Uh, Bigger jump from last week. But yeah, I was highly mistaken. I said I'd be surprised if Juan wasn't the next person evicted. And you know what? He survived this week, and for now, it's he's not in the worst position, especially not like as crazy as it could have been given the dramatization of the last eviction. Um, so 5 for me. I'd be interested to see how everything, and this is what I said last week too. I'm going to be very interested to see how everything shakes up when, or how everything lands when like the game gets shaken up. Uh, and I'm very interested to see where Juan lands and everything. But 5 for me as well. Awesome. Karina,
Karina. Okay, last week I was up to a 9. And I mean, I acknowledged it in the moment and I'm acknowledging it now. That was like a heightened 9. Um, this week I'm back down to reality. Um, and the keyword there is down. Um, Karina was HOH this week, and I think her taking out Riley was a good move for her. I
agreed.
think she went about it in a fine way, putting up Riley and Jamie. Like none of that was a mistake. Where she slipped up was she was a little too willy-nilly in the naming of the replacement nom, when ultimately, if you wanted Riley to go home, it shouldn't have mattered. So she was going around to everyone and like told Ashlyn to her face that she was a consideration, and Danny to his face that he was a consideration, and Suba to her face that she was a consideration, and all these things. And I think she lost a lot of ground,
Uh-huh.
um, to the point where I was like, oh, and where I feel like before this week she would have been guaranteed to make it to the 6 shooter showdown. I'm now a little worried for her.
Hmm.
She could like I have more confidence right now, actually, after this messy week, in terms of what people are talking about right now, that like Karina is, I think, more likely to suffer, like be the victim of a shot than like Juan would be, if I'm being so honest. Um, I feel like people are starting to talk, and it's not awful yet, but I feel like she kind of really mishandled this. Where are you at for your score? I'm debating between two numbers, and I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on Karina up to the Riley boot.
She was a little messy this week, but ultimately, I think she did get out someone who wasn't with her and someone who would have done anything and worked with anybody to stay in the game and move forward, and that pretty much would have been against Karina. It's
I
tricky
think
because
I know what I'm going for my score.
okay, it's tricky because I think I still think she can scrape by, and I wonder if she's on the block if she has the momentum and the numbers to stay. Um, I was at an 8. I'm only gonna go down to a 7.
I am going to agree with you. I'm going to that 7. I don't want to let what I know now influence my score.
Hmm.
but it'll be interesting because moving forward, I do worry that if she is on the block, she won't have the numbers.
Yeah.
But that's more of a conversation for next week. And I think after this week, I am at 7 still.
Yeah. All right, Kaylin.
Kaylin, I have to give her the same score that I gave Damon, which is a 4, I think. I was at the 4 last week. Um, I want Kaylin to be doing so well. This is not a flops get fours moment. This is a
Everyone's obsessed with her for.
there's enough people that want her. Like she is the next person up on the docket to go home, I think, based on if this 4 continues going headstrong. And with peace and love to Kaylin, she either like doesn't show up to the comp or doesn't compete well on the comp, or like I just like I need her to like lock the fuck in. And we're not
Oh,
getting that.
I mean, she won a veto and came second in a hard veto.
What veto did she win?
She won. What was the last one?
Jamie won the last one.
Oh, sorry, my bad. No, was she didn't she just win something?
I don't I don't think so.
Yeah, she won in week 5. She won.
Won what?
She won.
Oh, she won Morphomatic.
Yes, yes. Dominated Morphomatic and then got second in Beat It and Weep, or not Beat It and Weep. Works Like a Charm. Oh my gosh, so many comp names.
Um, that's true. That actually is true. Um, I after this week, I don't think she realizes the places that she needs to be shooting at. I think she's still a little too loyal to Kaden and Karina, which is just a bad duo to be loyal to. Um, so it's gonna be a 4 from me. I think she is likely next up on the docket to go.
I know I was really looking for any reason to be above a 4, but I don't think I can extremely justify any. So I'm gonna be at a 4 as well, which sucks because she's so funny and she's so here, but people are obsessed with her. Refresh. Don't look at my email. Okay,
Alrighty,
Riley.
Riley. This is Riley's time. I unfortunately don't think she had a lot more to give to the game. She kind of gave up in this last week, which I don't entirely blame her for. It was the initial kind of outcasting of Riley, I do think was a little more her fault. She went around to everyone saying, I think you're in a majority alliance. Like, yeah, that was bound to happen. Um, However, the continuation of it and the way it was continued, I'm like, I actually do really feel for Riley here. Kind like the way that like, and it is specifically Kaden. Um, Not too shortly followed up by Juan and Karina. But like especially Kaden that just want to like shit talk. It's like it's one thing to be like, yeah, like you're voting her out, but like I don't know, it's getting a little airs of season 5 and 13 and whatever like coming in where I'm just like, ugh, like just let her be. Um, if she is a bitter juror, which I honestly hope for her, like I'm getting bitter jury vibes from this season, and it's the first time since season 1 that I'd be like, and yeah, and deserved. And I kind of want a, whether it be delusional or based totally in fact, want like a ruthless bitter jury speech from Riley.
Whether delusional or based in reality.
Well, like it's true. Like it's true. And it could swing one way or the other, and we won't know until we get there. But
I
like
give you the door.
I want an iconic jury fight with Riley involved. Because I think she would eat that up. I think it'll be entertaining. And I do think that she is like justified in how she's feeling. In terms of this week, She was going home almost no matter what. She did put up a good campaign with the help of Jamie. This is like textbook two for me. So it will be a two. Um,
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was kind of just like on the block, lost the veto, no chance to camp like save yourself. So we'll miss Riley, and I think her impact is still to come on the jury as well. All right, Suba.
I will never stop loving Suba. I never will do it. No matter if anyone asks me to do it, I will never stop
I love
loving
her
Suba.
laugh when she goes.
Um, with that being said, I wanna like give Suba a talking to because I'm still not over like Suba. Why are we back to working with like you were the first to realize that Kaden was a snake. You were the first to realize it. What do you mean that you're the person that may be most in his pocket right now? I'm disappointed, Suba. I'm not. No, I am mad. I'm mad and I'm disappointed. Um, she could be doing so much more. And unfortunately, like it seems like as soon as Cyan left the game, she kind of like just like checked out. And now she's here for the ride, and I love that she's here for the ride. And I do still think that she's a big threat in a very Emma McIntyre way in
I
terms of
would
like,
give her more credit than is just here for the vibe.
um,
Granted, like, was she here for more than that when Cyan was here? I feel like she it only looked like that because she was talking to Cyan a bunch. You know what I mean?
but she was talking to everyone a bunch, and it was about the game. And
Was it?
now I think she's on self-preservation mode. It's just like she doesn't want to go home, which like, I mean, very come on, Sandra Diaz Twine, anyone but me. Like that's kind of what Suba's at, which I don't hate as a mindset, but it doesn't really work in Big Brother. Um, and I just think Kaden is the wrong person to attach herself to. She needs to link up with this theoretical Danny Jamie revolution that could be coming, and then I'll be a lot higher on Suba. With that being said, I'm not underestimating her or counting her out for the win because honestly, I think a lot of people's plans are like, oh, just keep Suba around. Like if the of the quote goats in the game, they want to take Kaylin out. And to be clear, I put goat in quotation marks because I don't think anyone on this cast is a goat, honestly. Um, there's no one here that I think is like doesn't deserve the win in one shape, way, or form, which is actually kind of unique. Um, but of the people that I think are more viewed that way, they kind of want to that four wants to take out Caitlyn. They don't want to take Damon to the end. They think Jamie is this massive threat, which now she actually is turning into one. Um, I think they all want to be taking Suba far, which I think is a little crazy because, again, in a very Emma Mac way, I think Suba has a large possibility of sitting there in the end and just being so likable that she wins. She's one of the few people that I think has that ability. In terms of where she's at in the game, she went up on the block this week. I was at a four last week. I'm going to be at a four again. Um, but I'm not counting her out.
Um, sorry. I think I'm gonna stay at my five again. Um, because I'm not really seeing a world where Suba is like being evicted soon, and I think you're right. I think this is a season where they're gonna try and drag people who they think are goats to the end, and it's gonna be a David Fossbender moment. Uh, I think Suba's here to stay, and I don't think I don't think she's a goat like like you defended her, but I also think that she is maybe giving more socially than you might be giving her credit for. So I'm gonna stay at a five. And also I love Suba. So I just like want her to win something. That's what I want from her. I want her to win something. She was like, "Am I the only person left who hasn't won a competition?" And we were like, "Yeah,
Oh, is that true?
yeah." It was Riley too.
Now that Riley's gone. Oh,
And I'm like Suba, and she almost won. Well, oh, hold on.
Suba just texted in her diary what she said. She said, guys, oh, is she about to enter the store?
Guys, I'm busy before 7 tomorrow. That's just gonna say.
Like, honestly, let's predict what's coming next. Suba said, guys,
Who is she
they've
talking to? She hasn't been talking to anybody.
no, she was on a FaceTime call with
Oh,
Kaden
she's
and
with Caden and
Karina.
Karina. Yeah. I wonder if they're what they're saying. Oh,
Should I do the store?
I mean, let's think. If she goes into the store, she could still. Well, I guess I won't say here. Not
I
that.
wonder if
But
they're trying to convince her to do the store. I mean, like sneak peek into next week. The secret power video in the store is going to be a huge plot point. And I wonder if they're trying to get Suba to go into the store to like get someone else to possibly pin it on.
you mean dependent on Suba?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Well, this is the
this
end.
will be next week's rankings is going to be a very, we're going to have
Tomorrow.
stuff to talk about. So, yeah, tomorrow for us.
Oh, she's going to the store. Okay, well that leaves
Okay,
us
well, so we're going to stop this
perfect
recording and we're going
timing.
to get Suba in the store.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.